I'm Reen Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me, as always, is Taylor. Taylor, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been up to? We've been pretty busy, so we haven't really talked.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I bought a big TV for my PS5 and I finally moved it into my room. We had it in the living room for a while, so I finally had it in my room and I pretty much didn't leave my room this weekend. I just played a lot of Elden Ring and Horizon, so it's been awesome.
Two games you've been looking forward to?
Oh yeah.
Or I know you've
Elden Ring, I wasn't really looking forward to, but they sent me a code, so I was like, "Oh, I'll play it and do a video on it, and then maybe I'll finish it later." It's getting to the point where it's starting to piss me off, so I'm like, "Yeah."
You're getting frustrated already.
I mean, I'm pretty far. I mean, so there's like 6 bosses that you have to beat to like finish the game or whatever, and I've beat 2 of them and a bunch of side bosses. And I've explored a ton, but yeah, there's just a couple that I'm like,
Is it like playing, what's it called? Breath of the Wild?
Not really, not at all. I mean, obviously, it's more like it's open world Dark Souls is like the elevator pitch, but you can ride horses, so it totally changes combat because you can fight bosses on your horse and stuff. So you can kind of cheese a lot of the fights.
And that's not fun at all, right?
No, it's actually great because I'm like, you jerk, I am having a horrible time, and then I can just get on my horse. And I'm like, yeah, take that.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of set off a manga renaissance in our Discord.
Oh.
Yeah. I posted like what I've been buying, and then like everyone started buying a bunch of manga.
Nice.
Been talking about stuff. I've been watching anime again. Just wasting time.
Cool.
Have you been doing
before we started, you said trying to find a save point. Was it a JRPG or just something else?
It was not. You're gonna be surprised of what it is. 1 second. Okay. Wow, I'm way loud now, so I gotta fix myself. Okay, so what I've been playing. Do you remember what I used to play all the time at PSX?
There were a couple games.
Yeah, I played Chasm.
Oh, okay.
I bought the game a long time ago, and I haven't never beat it, so I've just been playing that. I've been playing a lot of Metroidvania games. So nice. I downloaded the ones that I own that I've never beat. So that's one of them. And then I got Axiom Verge to play as well. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Very cool.
I finished Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh, it's done. Nice.
No, it's not done. It ends on like a huge cliffhanger.
Oh, fun.
So, you watched it, but you were. Didn't you not like it at all?
No, I did like it, and then I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I actually liked it a lot. I just didn't finish it for really no reason.
Yeah, so I binged watched it and watched all the episodes in like a couple days, and it is the most unsatisfying ending in the world. The season ends.
That sucks.
It would piss you off tremendously, Taylor.
Oh, great.
But it's obviously going to make a second season, so there's way more to it. But let's move straight to the episode where we are going to be doing, let me change the topic, our top 5 PS4 JRPGs.
Yeah.
There is actually a lot of JRPGs that you could play on the PS4, especially a lot of the old ones. There's a lot of re-releases that I've noticed. I was looking at a list and I was like, man, there's so many re-releases.
Yeah, they did a lot of remasters.
So I was like, whew, that's cool. But let's really one first. I want to. There's 5 points because people always say that's not a JRPG. That's not a JRPG. So I put down a list of 5 points of what makes a JRPG to GSP, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. But here we go. This is what the list is. All right. First things first. Of the 5 points of what makes a JRPG. 1, obviously, must be made in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Duh, right? All right.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, there could be games that are in the spirit of JRPGs, like Cosmic Star Heroine.
Yeah,
That was made
of
by
course.
a Western team.
Of course. But this is just, this gives credence to give us some guides to what a JRPG is, Vague
Sure.
generalization. Point number 2, must have a party system. So none of this Dark Souls and Zelda crap. But hey, Ease has a party system.
Sure does.
So there you go. Characters must level up. They must level up. All right.
Okay.
Must have a linear story. So there must be a story to it, and not like an open world, do whatever you want kind of story. There's a story you have to follow. And then the last point is main protagonist must be established. That means no create a character. And you're not just an avatar in a world, Just stare, like the story's going all around you, and you're just like, oh, I'm just part of it. Okay. But of course, there'll be exceptions, and these are just guidelines. Don't get mad, guys. This is just, hey, this is what a JRPG is in our mind. And this is the super alpha version. They might change into, later on. But what do you think? What do you think about these points, Taylor?
Mine would have been different-ish, but I think that that's pretty on point.
I mean, we could totally, make them renovate them further, early, on another episode. But this is what I made. I put my thoughts down. I was like, these are the points that I think make a JRPG for now.
Sure.
And it could be any type of battle system. By the way, it's not just turn-based.
Yes. Yeah. I think people say it can only be turn-based, and nope. I think it can be both.
Yeah, it could be anything. Could even be a strategy RPG in my eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's start with number 5. Let's I want your number 5, Taylor. What do you have for number 5?
Okay. Real quick, you did mention honorable mentions. Are we doing that before number 1?
Yes,
Is that what
that's
do?
exactly what we're doing.
Okay. Yes. So my number 5, let me get my list out again, is Dragon Quest 11.
Ooh.
In years past, it would have been much, much higher, but I think as games have come out and the more I think about it, I'm like, it's still a good game, but there were some annoying things about it. But overall, awesome story. I really enjoyed exploring that world. It's the first Dragon Quest that I finished, like core Dragon Quest, if you don't count like builders and heroes and all that stuff.
And you played 8 back in the PS2 age.
I played on PS2 and on 3DS, and I couldn't finish either of them. I just got bored or stuck or something. But yeah, no, I liked 11 a lot. It moved a lot quicker. There were a lot of quality of life features. Of course, it's very traditional still in a lot of ways, but still has that charm. For me, it was the characters. It had such a great cast of characters. It was a little long, and I think that's probably why, in retrospect, like why I'd knock it. It's a little long, and the post game takes a lot of grinding to like get the true ending and stuff. But love the cities, all the towns and stuff. I love yeah, for me, it was basically the exploring and the characters that really did it for me. So that would be my number 5.
Did you ever play the definitive? I can't talk right now, but the definitive edition. There you go.
I did not. I've been thinking about going back, but I'm like, oh, that game is so long, and I don't know if it's worth doing all the going through it all of that again just for a couple little extras. So probably not.
Not gonna.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 5 is Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome game.
It is a okay. So this game, very fun, very surprising, is very Falcom-y, and it is anime tropes. The game, like holy crap, anime tropes. There's the childhood genius who loves his Oni-chan, not Oni-chan. The super hot and attractive and perfect student council president, the delinquent with the heart of gold, the childhood friend that loves the main character. It's just like the idol that goes to your school. Those are all the main casts, by the way. But yeah, so it's very tropey, but it's like fun. It's like watching an anime, but if you don't like, which is amazing that Taylor actually enjoyed this game a lot, because if you don't like the Falcom way of storytelling, which is just like a lot of cutscenes, a lot of talking, then you won't like this game. But I think the battle system is like really fun because it's like a combination of ease and what's it called? Trails. And it's just really fun and addicting and pretty easy. But once you get all the abilities, it gets pretty easy. I think at the beginning when you don't have like dodge and stuff, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But and it has one of the, I know you agree with me with this, it has one of the best soundtracks ever. It is so good.
I don't know if I'd say ever, but it is good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
One of the top. That's in my
definitely underrated.
Yeah,
really underrated.
It definitely feels like a Vita game because it is. It's like Ys 8, but it's great. It's great. It's just really long because there's the main story and then the after story and then the after epilogue story. Yeah, it's crazy, but I really enjoy it.
Keeps going.
Yeah. So if you like really like fun anime tropey story and characters, then you'll love this game. It has it's an action RPG, in case you guys didn't know, and it's typical to Falcom that has great characters. So, but it's not like a very big world building game. So
no,
you don't have to talk to everyone unless you want to get like the platinum. But very fun. Do you have Tokyo Xanadu on your list?
Yes.
You do? Where do you have it on?
Honorable mentions.
Okay, honorable mentions. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine.
Whoops.
That's not on the list. Something like a numbered list.
Oh yeah, no, not numbered.
That is amazing.
Yep. Well, PS4 was an awesome generation for JRPGs. So unfortunately, it was tough competition.
Yeah, but I'm racking my brain of what's on your list. Because I would expect Tokyo Xanadu to be on it. So it's going to be interesting. Well, Taylor, what's your number 4 then?
Number 4 is Ys 9 Monstrum Nox.
Ooh.
I loved Ys 9 so much. I loved I think what I love about Ys is it's such a pick up and play kind of action RPG game. It feels very arcadey in a good way. It's like borderline like a Musou Warriors game, but not really. And I think the thing that really elevated this above games like E7 or Ys 8, which I know a lot of people really like, is the gifts where you can like zip to points and run up walls and stuff like that. Just the traversal in this game was so much fun. Like finding the collectibles was a blast. I know a lot of people didn't like most of it was in that city, but to me, just the gameplay loops were just so addicting, and the music was awesome. So good. I still listen to that music often. That rock and guitar. Oh man. Nothing like it in the Ys games.
Typical Ys.
It's amazing. And the story and characters or whatever, but for me it's the gameplay. Yeah, it's basically the gameplay and the music.
I don't agree with you there. I still find Ys 8 to be more memorable than Ys 9.
Yeah, I think I'm in the minority for sure. A lot of people don't agree with my opinion, but that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I thought
Um
Ys 9 would be like somewhere in the desert, but no, they went to a city. Maybe next time.
yeah, no, I think we're due for a new environment for sure.
And hopefully not just stuck in a city.
I know. There were some dungeons and some fields, but yeah, it was mostly in that city. Did you ever beat East 9?
I did not.
Okay.
I think I'm in the middle of the cowgirls level.
Oh man,
Best
you don't even
story.
have all the characters yet.
I do not know. What happened was I was really into it. I was playing it on my PS4, and then I got a PS5, and then I transferred everything over to the PS5, and I stopped playing. So I definitely could play it, but I just haven't gotten to it.
Gotcha.
What do you think? What do you think my number
Yeah.
4 is?
I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think of what could be on your list. It's like that. Maybe Ease 8.
You're gonna be surprised with this.
Mm.
My number 4 is Cold Steel 3 and 4.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot. You know me. I don't like Cold Steel, so I forget that people really like those games.
it It's like Trails in the Sky the Third, which is not connected to. I mean, it is connected, but it's more like its own set of story that's not really part of the first two. So it like resets, and there's a time skip. So Cold Steel 3 and 4, I'm combining them because you need to play both of them together.
Oh sure.
Is like Avengers 1, the last two Avengers movies. That's what this series is like.
Okay.
If you played Cold Steel 1 and 2, you've played Cold Steel 3 and 4 just with improvements, You're still Reen, and the story finally concludes, but it's everyone, especially in 4, everyone from every series, from Sky, from Crossbell, is in this story, and it finally wraps up the whole Cold Steel story, and it's really out there. It's really really crazy. There's so many damn characters that it gets kind of crazy, especially when you have to pick, who you want to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Reen has his own harem.
Oh boy.
Too bad you can't go out with everyone and have funny scenes like in Persona. But
Oh, that'd be awesome.
it'd be awesome. There was definitely a lot of talking in this in these two games, and it got pretty bad near the end. But you definitely need the true ending for Cold Steel 4, which is easy to do because it tells you in the final chapter. It's like you gotta do these side quests to get the true ending, and if you don't, you get the normal ending, which is a total cop out ending. But if you like waifus, if you like turn-based JRPGs, you like just traditional JRPGs and a very big open story, a big open world, big story that's finally concluding, then you should find time to play Cold Steel 3 and 4, or start with Cold Steel 1 and 2. Just know that you're in for a long haul. And Falcom is known for it's just long cutscenes and story moments. So.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely have to get ready for a lot of stories and stuff, and then of course you got to talk to every NPC multiple times to get the world building.
You don't need to. You need to talk to the people you want to talk to. It's like, oh, I like this character. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, this girl's cute. Let's talk to her every time I see her. That kind of stuff. Good times. I can't believe I finally beat 3. Like, I've already finished 3 and 4, because I remember when we're during this podcast, we're like, man, we need 3, we need 4, can't wait for that. And it's been like how long, Taylor? Like 2 years since 4 has been out, maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
That's crazy. And we still haven't got. Oh, are we getting the next? We're getting the next one this year or 2023?
Let's see. Trails. I think it's next year. Uh, yeah, 2023.
It's crazy.
The one I really want to play is Kuro.
It's the one that we're not gonna get for 2025, and there's already gonna be 3 of them out by then.
Yeah, because I think the sequel comes out this year.
Yeah,
in Japan.
they really need to, speed up the translation on that.
I know. Hire contractors, build the team up. I mean, whatever it takes. Like, let's get caught up.
I mean, they already have the whole script for the Crossbow series because they're bringing those out, right? They bought they bought the guys who did the fan translation and they're putting it into the games. So I don't know why those are taking so long because those are done.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't get. It's like it's not going to take 2 years to put all that script into the game and then bug test it. If people did the Destiny fan translation, that took a couple months. That's because the script was already done, so they just put all in the game, and now they're just bug fixing. And the game's perfectly playable. It's like there's maybe some bugs here and there, but I can't believe it's just taking a professional company to take this long to do it.
Yeah, a little crazy.
Makes me mad. Taylor, what is your number 3?
Let me double check. I think I know what it is, but I want to make sure I have my list correct. This one might surprise you, and maybe it won't. But my number 3 is Tales of Arise.
Ooh.
You know me, I have not really been the biggest fan of the last handful of Tales games. Basically going back to I don't know if I've ever really loved any Tales game now that I really think about it. I mean, I've beat a lot of them, especially the PS3 ones, but I've never been like, man, that was awesome. But I loved Arise. I loved the new art style. I love to me, the dungeon and world design is what really needed to improve. And to me, they knocked it out of the park. And I know to you, it's a little formulaic with the way they do the cave that connects the zone, and then it's a cave, and then another zone. Like I know that you can it's easy to see through the design, but to me, it worked for me. I really like I like the cast of characters. Really great cast of characters. I loved Alphen and Shion's story. I loved how they were he was just trying to help her, and she was confrontational, and she was just so standoffish because of her thorns. Obviously, it kind of falls off a cliff at the end of the game. Like the whole story just totally falls apart. But up until then, the game's awesome, in my opinion.
I don't think the story falls apart. It just becomes super overly complicated.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I'll say that like JRPGs have a big problem with is they really overcomplicate things. Like at one time I heard, I think it was somebody from Naughty Dog said, simple story, complex characters. And I feel like Japan tries to do both, like complex characters and complex story. And it's like, if I need like a dictionary to keep track of what's going on, like that's not good. But and the combat was amazing. I loved all the different like tag team moves. You can call in characters, and I like, if a game loop really hooks me, I'll get the platinum, and I got the platinum trophy in this game. And what I loved is that the collectibles were like fashion equipment, like different pieces that you could equip to your teams. Yeah, the owls. Yeah, because normally it's just a collectible for collectible's sake. I'm like, all right, that's fine, I guess. But with this, you actually got like a tangible reward. I'm like, that's awesome. Like every time I found a thing, I could use it. And like, I love playing the fashion metagame in RPGs. So I really hope they build off this and make the next one even better. I mean, it's one of the better selling Tales games. It's not the best, I don't think. There's plenty of others like Destiny 2, Symphonia, and probably some other ones, but it's up there. And I'm bummed that I didn't wait to play it on PS5 because, man, playing it at 60 frames the whole time would have been awesome. But nonetheless, it was still a good experience.
Have you tried it on PS5?
I booted it up just to kind of play around with it, but I didn't. I'm not gonna like replay it anytime soon. But it was, yeah, it runs nice.
Yeah, you just put it on
Yeah.
performance mode, and it's like, yes.
Oh, I gotta say, before I was like, 30 frames is fine. It's like more cinematic and all that. And then I was playing Horizon today, and by default, it's on um, resolution mode, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do 30 frames anymore. Like, I gotta place everything at 60. Like, I just can't get over it now. Even if the resolution takes a hit a little bit, like, it's, to me, it's just so not worth it.
60? How about 120, 140?
Okay.
You console plebs.
Whoa, we got a badass over here. Yep.
You would be surprised that Tales of Arise is not even on my list.
Well, that's not that surprising. It was a big Falcom. I bet you have a lot of Falcom games on your list.
No.
So you have 2 so far.
Yeah, that's
Technically 3, but I'll count 3 and 4 as one game. That's fine. So what is your number 3?
Number 3 for me? Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay. I also have it on my list, but where? We'll have to wait and find out.
Number 2.
We'll have to wait.
No, number 1. Yeah, the game's great. It's fun. I have really no nostalgic memories of this game. My memories of this game when I was a kid is watching you and Connor play it. The first time I actually beat the game, the only time I beat the original was on my PSP back in like 2013 or 12, around there. I don't remember. Go way back then. But playing this game, like every time, because I knew all the beats. I knew the beats, right? But every time, like a special, like especially the intro and the music just always hit me, and it was like a huge swell of nostalgia. And I'm like, where am I getting this nostalgia from? But yeah, that game is great. If you don't know how to you have to get used to the battle system a little bit for it to get to like really fun. If you're just hack and slashing, you're not gonna have fun because there's some battles where you can't do much damage to unless you know what their weaknesses are. So I really enjoyed getting like the combos with magic and learning that Aerith is super broken, which you know how to build her. Doing double spells all the time. Oh, so awesome. And then once playing on the PS5, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. It is.
Oh yeah.
It totally lived up. It totally surpassed all expectations, and it's really great. And I'm not going to say much more about it because I know Taylor was going to gush about it, and I don't want any repeating about it. So let's move to your number 2, Taylor.
Let's see. My number 2 is Persona 5.
All right.
This is everything I was hoping for in a new Persona game, because I'll never forget this, that my 2 big wants from going from Persona 4 to Persona 5, basically I just wanted it to be longer. We got that. It's an extra 30, at least 30 hours longer. And I wanted it to look like Catherine. Like, I wanted a big visual jump, and it looks basically exactly like Catherine. So to me, it did exactly what I wanted. Now, some of the end dungeons, some problems, but overall, like the game flow, like crafted dungeons as opposed to randomly generated. The art style is incredible. Great combat system. Now, I have not played Royal. I have it. I just have not played it. I mean,
if there's one game that you need if you want to replay a game, this is the top of your list. Is that one?
Oh, I know, because there's a whole new character with Kasumi, and I'm sure there's more that I would enjoy. It's just such a big time commitment. You know how long the game is, and I can never find a gap in my schedule. So, maybe over the Christmas break or something, I'll try to find some time. But overall, yeah, it's such an incredible game, and I really think that I have talked about this at length about how the PS3 like really damaged JRPGs, and it was just such a bad generation. I mean, there's a couple good games, obviously. Like there's some Tales games, there's Ni no Kuni and whatever, but overall, it wasn't a great generation. But I think Persona 5 really brought the genre back, and I think it brought a lot of new people in. Now, whether we want that to be the game or not is, whatever. But I'm just glad that it did as well as it did, and I'll never forget. I knew as soon as it got announced, I'm like, this game's gonna be huge. And I feel like the Atlas didn't understand it. I feel like a lot of people didn't understand how big this was going to be, because when we went to PSX,
Yeah, we knew
we were
this,
in
yeah.
line. We were in line, and it was hands down the biggest line at the whole convention. Like it wrapped around Sega's booth so much that they had to shut down other demos because the line was so long.
They shut down Sonic because they were like, we were talking to staff, and they're like, we don't know what's going on. Why is it so popular? It's like, you are
I'm like,
so out of
hello,
touch.
are you unaware? Like, do you not realize how hyped people are for this game? Like, because I'll never forget, like, people were talking about the menus. Like when you get people excited for menus,
You were
that's when
talking
you
about
know
the
you've
menus.
nailed it. Oh yeah, and then people cosplayed as the menus. Like, dude, when people cosplay as your menu, like, come on,
People, yeah,
it's kind of amazing.
got kind of crazy. Definitely got crazy.
Oh yeah, and then for Joker to be the first character in Smash, I mean that's pretty awesome. The first DLC character.
Oh, man, that was. I miss Smash. I miss it.
Hey,
Not for playing it. I just miss the announcements. The announcements are so much fun.
Oh yeah. No, they were.
So I remember
for
in
sure.
2015, the best year in gaming announcements ever. It's the year of dreams,
Mm.
and we had the Final Fantasy VII remake announcement, and then the same year we had Cloud and Smash, where everyone used to make jokes about.
Oh man, back in the
The day,
Newgrounds
just
videos,
all the
yeah.
times, like, hey guys, what if you put Cloud and Smash? Oh yeah. And then and it's like it
So-
actually freaking happens. We're like,
I know.
what happened here?
Right?
And then they put there's so many good. Yeah, it was just video games, the fighting game.
Basically, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So we got a lot of great spin-offs. There was the music game. There was Strikers, which I really liked. Do you think we're still gonna get Persona 5 Arena?
I do not know. You know what I think is what's happening right now? They're re-releasing Arena on PC, right?
Mm.
And I think they're gauging how much people really want it.
Mm.
So if PS4 Arena, Persona 4 Arena on the PC does well, I think they would put a green light on Persona 5 Arena, which I don't think is going to be like only Persona 5. I think it will be like a Persona 5, 4, and 3 battler.
Probably, yeah. I agree. And to have Arc System do it with their new graphics engine, not have it be pixels, like, oh my god, it'll look amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I really do think they should. It'll be
Yeah.
really fun. But they have a lot on their plate right now, which is dungeon fighter. Probably
Oh, that's right.
Probably making a new Dragon Ball Fighters right now. We just don't know.
They're still doing DLC for that game, which is crazy. The Android 21 with their Codon or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was just like, hey, here's something. Here's something that probably didn't do much on it.
Yeah.
Because they're probably working on the next game. Other than that, Guilty, they're working on Guilty Gear. I'm pretty sure they're working on a new Blaze Blue. Street Fighter 6 was just announced. It's good times.
Oh yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake is coming. I mean, it's not been announced, but it's coming.
Which people thought that Countdown was. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, it is definitely Street Fighter 6 because it's ending on Capcom Cup. It's
That's right, yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got overhyped for nothing. Which, come on, Street Fighter with the Resident Evil engine, the RE engine, because it's not the Resident Evil engine, it's the Reach for the Moon engine.
Mm-hmm.
So that it looks good. Looks good. All that. Did you see the teaser?
Yeah, all the characters look really wide.
Yeah, they're wide, but it's like that's probably it's like 95% in game.
You think so?
Yeah, that's 95% engine. I bet.
It's probably. You think it's going to be a PS5 exclusive?
I don't think so. Maybe PS.
They probably don't need to do that now.
Maybe
right?
PS5 and PC. I don't think it needs to be exclusive at all. If it's on PC, it'd be on Xbox. Definitely cross-platform or cross-play.
Yeah, because I was thinking that. Well, I didn't come up with this. I was listening to Sacred Symbols actually, and they had this interesting series of thoughts where like Capcom wasn't in a good financial situation a while ago, and so they were like doing all these like console exclusives, like Dead Rising 4 was an Xbox exclusive, and then Street Fighter 5 was a PlayStation. They were doing all these exclusives to probably get some extra money, but now they don't need to do that because Resident Evil's selling really well, Monster Hunter's selling really well.
Yeah, they got money, so
know?
they have their own engine now, so it's
they can afford.
That's why a lot of people are excited because it's like this is finally a fighting game with a budget. So we'll get to see what they're what they're working. And the last few characters in Street Fighter 5 were really fun to play as, so people are excited.
Yeah, who was that guy? The USA guy? What's his name? Billy or something?
Luke.
That's
the other that's the other character in the trailer.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's move to my number 3. Or not my number 2. Sorry, we already did number 3.
Yeah.
Tales of Berseria.
Okay.
All right. So it was hard for me to pin down a Tales game of what to put on here because there's so many on PS4. Definitely not Tales of Arise because they changed too much in my opinion and got rid of a lot of the Tales charm. But it was a fun game. It was just missing a lot of Tales charm. And Tales of Berseria has the Tales charm. It has the fun battle system where you could tag in people to continue your combos. Has a really fun storyline, especially if you really enjoy Zesteria's storyline. You get to see how things connect, which I enjoyed. And it's just a general good JRPG, which is what Tales of is. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to redefine the genre. It's just a good standard JRPG. Which is what a lot of people are like, man, they need to change it up a bit because it's just the same standard JRPG formula. Which, what I don't get, because they change it up all the time, they just change the battle system, but they need to bring back the world maps, Taylor.
Nah.
Hey, Berseria had a world map. It wasn't a standard world map, but you were able to select where you wanted to go because you were on a boat. It was a map. It was an actual map. You didn't run around it, but it's because you had a boat. So you get to see how big the world actually is, unlike Arise, which is just the size of California.
That's okay. I like that better. Yeah, I think it's better.
Nah, I never. that irks me the wrong way. I don't like it. It always irked me way back when they first showed it off and with Tales of Hearts on DS. I was like, I don't like this. I really don't like it. And then I played it in Tales of Xillia. I'm like, oh man, that's a game that you guys need to play. Is Tales of Xillia. Xillia is a really underrated gem. It just, I just noticed I'm the master of spirit.
All right.
It's like, why does she sound like that? It just sounds like a bad recording. You said that same voice actor, but she sounds way better in Xillia too, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but something.
Yeah. So the Tales series is just a very solid series. There's some games that are like lower quality, some that don't feel like they're finished, but they're still good. Just keep your expectations low. They're not going to blow your mind. Tales of Berseria is the the best point of a classic Tales series until Arise came out and changed everything up.
Yep.
So you might want to
and saved the franchise.
It changed it up, and a lot of a lot of choices were wrong in my opinion. But it looks great, and the battle system is fun, except for the healing and the items, and I wish there was more way to break enemies. But other than that, your number one. Let me guess. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And my number one, what do you think?
Cold Steel 2?
No, it's not on a PS4. Oh, is it now?
There's a port.
It cares of the port. Mine is Persona 5. Royal.
Oh, duh. You didn't even say Persona 5 yet. Okay. Yeah. You know, when I first beat, like immediately after finishing the game, I was like, they totally messed it up. But then upon reflection, I'm like, I really loved it. Like the parts that they recreated, there was like so much care and attention put in like every little detail, like the way the characters interacted, the environments, the music. You want to talk about one of the greatest soundtracks of all time? This is one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. I love the Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack.
And the Final Fantasy VII
good.
soundtrack in general had some really good songs in it, and
Oh yeah,
hearing the multiple versions of these songs and arrangements, it's just like holy crap. And some of the new original stuff is just super good. Especially, I think when you first hear Aerith's theme, when you're walking through when you're in the church and you're walking on the rooftops, I'm like, oh, like I've heard it, I've listened to the soundtrack. It hits you hard. You want to know something funny? When I was messing with the emulators, I decided to play some Final Fantasy VII, right? And I got to Wall Market within like an hour and a half. You know how long it takes to get the Wall Market in the remake?
Oh, it's like 10 hours.
Yeah.
It's really far into the game. Yeah.
It's really, and I was like, oh, hey, like it's the Aerith scene. Let's see how long this is. You walk like 2 roofs and then you're in the city again. You're like, oh, that was interesting.
Oh my god, yeah.
They added so much more character to them. It's great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I feel like maybe this is just me. I feel like this is an opinion that I don't think a lot of people agreed with, but I felt like I actually liked Aerith way more in the remake than I ever did in the original. And I don't know if it's because it felt like she had more character. She was like way more sassy and fun and spunky. I loved Aerith in this version.
She was sassy and spunky in the original. She just didn't have as much lines, and you got to see it a lot more in the remake.
Totally,
it's great.
Yeah, and even like Barrett, like to me, I really didn't care for Barrett at all in the original game, but I really liked Barrett in this game. Like he's like a little over the top at a lot of times.
He's really gruff and like strong-headed and Mr. T at the beginning, but then his glasses get knocked off, and then he's like, "I'm nice, Dad, Barrett."
Right.
For like the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I loved the scenes with him and Marlene, and like why he's fighting for the planet and stuff. It's just it was really incredible. And even like the little details for how they bring back like enemies, how they make like Hell House a boss in the arena and stuff. I like freaked out when it like pulled up, because I was even thinking, I'm like, I bet Hell House is gonna be a boss. Nah, because you hadn't seen it yet in the game, because it's just a normal enemy in between sectors and stuff in the original.
Yeah, it's just like in between like one sector.
For them to make this big old boss fight out, it was so cool. Yeah, and it literally made me cry multiple times. And before that, I really legitimately can't think of a game that made me cry. And a lot of it's probably nostalgia, but there were even like moments that they created from scratch that weren't in the original. Like, for example, like when Aerith goes to save Marlene from Seventh Heaven, like when the pillar's falling and stuff, you don't see that at all in the original game. And so for them to share this moment, she's like, "Oh, but our home's getting destroyed," and Aerith's like, "Oh, we'll have a new home." And then there's this moment that they never explain where she like touches Aerith or something, and it's like it's very obvious that there's something mystical going on, and then Aerith's like, "Shh," and they never explain it. And I'm like, that's something that's gonna be in the second part or the third part. So I love all these little hints that they're dropping. I still hated the ghosts. The ghosts were so stupid. And I kind of hate that Sephiroth was the final boss, because it's like, is he going to be the final boss every game? Like, that's going to get old. But that fight was epic. That was pretty darn epic.
No, I can't. It's too spoilery on that. but I'm saying that that's a different boss. I think he had a goal in mind and he got it. It was accomplished.
I think I know what you're saying. Yeah,
and
I think I know
so
what you're saying.
he's like, okay, now let's see what's happening. And I don't think that I don't think that Sephiroth that we saw all the time was it's gonna be like, I think it's gonna seem like normal Sephiroth again, because
Yeah. And then even episode Yuffie was great. I finally played it after I got a PS5, and it's it's short. It's like what 6-ish hours or something, but her combat style is really fun. I'm really looking forward to playing as her in part 2. And they are definitely did more team up moves and stuff, and I really liked her character. She's really cute and funny. So and there was a nice little tease at the end for more crazy stuff. And I'm like, man, where are they going with this? And that's what I love. I love that it's not, I know a lot of people just wanted a straight remake, but I love that it's not just a straight remake, because now you're like, I really don't know where they're going. Like, of course, the overall plot is pretty much going to be the same, but there's these little things like, yeah, and I don't want to spoil it, but you know what's going on. It's like, what is this character doing? Why is this character here? He shouldn't be here. So, yeah, it's fascinating, and yeah, I really really enjoyed it. So, tell me about Persona 5 Royal.
well, it's Persona 5 Royal. It's just playing Persona 5 again. I think it's not as robust as playing Persona 4 Golden compared to Persona 4, but it's they definitely rewrote some of the parts in the script, because I know for a fact that things seemed different when I was playing it. I was like, I don't remember it being like this. They said something different here. And I know at the end, when you talk to people, when you're about to leave, because the main protagonist always leaves at the end of Persona games.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You talk to all your confidants, and I remember the final thing that Kawakami said to you in the original Persona 5 was like, "I'll clean your room for you," in a really weird voice, right? And in the Royal, she says, "Just call on me, and I'll come over and take care of you," like lovingly, because she's supposed to be, well, I don't know. Maybe it's different if you're not going out with her, but if you're going out with her, she's like, just don't forget, like, I'll come visit you and I'll cook you stuff and take care of you, instead of being like all mate. I don't want to spoil it, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
So they definitely rewrote some of the script. The dungeons, there's new parts of the dungeons. They've changed some things in the dungeons, and they added a new character, which I don't like how they were. I get why it was implemented that way, but I know a lot of people who would be disappointed of how they implemented it. And the new story at the end is interesting, so I can't wait for you to play that. But it's like all that stuff is near the end of the game. The middle part, she's definitely in different scenes, and she's definitely there, but her story is not until like really the end.
Okay, that's what I've heard, which is a bummer, but that's okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but she's a fun character, and she's cute and everything like that.
But I hear they like rejiggered the dungeons, kind of.
They did, yeah. They added, they changed them up. They changed up some of the dungeons. I don't know the final dungeon. I'm trying to remember. I think the final I shouldn't say the final dungeon. The ship dungeon is definitely the same. I think still very similar. They might have fixed some things to make things not as aggravating, like added more save points or something like that. I don't remember, because I don't remember when I was playing it. I don't remember being as frustrated as I was when I first played it on on the first game.
Interesting. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Definitely enjoyed the atmosphere of Persona 5 is way better than in Persona 4. But Persona 4's story and characters, I enjoyed more. But That's hard to top one of the best games, one of the best JRPGs ever made, right? Altogether.
It really is. Yeah.
So it's still really good. It's just different, but Persona 4 edges out. Like I recently played Persona 4, and I still. The only way to play it is Golden. You gotta play Golden, and it's way easier to play Golden now, especially when it's the PC ports out.
And it's probably getting ports to consoles.
Yeah, it's probably getting ports to other places.
Yep.
But I replayed it. I got the Golden ending and true ending the first playthrough. So it's easy to do. I destroyed that game. Oh my gosh!
Nice.
Just do Margaret's quest where you have to do personas, and you'll get like the best personas. So
nice. Okay.
And she also makes out with you at the end of the game.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah. It's very funny because you finished her social link, right? And she's like, "Here's something to remember me by." It's not like in Persona 3 where more things happen, but yeah, Persona 5. Man, PS4, I can't believe it's over. PS4 had a lot of great games.
Yeah, I mean, technically, there's still some games coming, but like, let's be real, you should probably play them all on PS5.
Oh yeah, like if you're able to get a PS5. Play Persona, play FF7 on it. It's the best version by far, even better than the PC port. So,
yep,
get that. I played it on PS4, and then I started playing the PS5 version. Holy crap, it's not even close. It's so much better.
Yeah, and then all the other games. I mean, they just look better. They have better frame rates. I mean. And I know PS5s are tricky. Trust me, it took me a while to find one.
Yeah, how long did it take you to find one?
Forever. I had to get lucky. I had like a friend that was like, they're gonna ship one to you, and then they ended up living in the same city as me, so it was just like dumb luck that I got one. Really
nice.
But yeah, no, it's people are always like, is it worth it? I think it's totally worth it for the performance bump.
Yeah.
And now there's some games starting to trickle out that like are really taking advantage of it, and like you should be playing on.
It's like playing
PS5.
It's like think about playing Horizon, the new one, on PS4.
Oh man, that's you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's like I remember watching Maddie play Monster Hunter World on PS4, and I was like, man, this looks awful. It runs so bad, but she played it. It was like running like 20 frames per second, but she did it.
Monster Hunter World?
Yeah. It's the original PS4, the original model. So
yeah.
if you play it on a pro model, it'll be fine. Maybe even on a slim model it'll be better, but this is like the original model, and it just did not run well.
Yep. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, because the game is so, you need to be precise with your attacks and stuff, man. I mean, that's how I play it too, so I can't really say anything. But like Monster Hunter World 2 on PS5, oh man, that's gonna be awesome to have 60 frames and everything.
Ooh, hopefully, right? All right,
Yeah.
so let's do some. What runner-ups do you got? You said one.
Yeah, so Tokyo Xanadu is one. I basically agree with everything you have to say. I always say it's Persona with ease combat on a much smaller budget, and that's definitely true. I feel like, and but I loved it. I love the flow, and especially the dungeons. There's always something to do. There's always like boxes to break, and
I always love the
characters.
I love the characters.
Yeah, characters are awesome, are great. Like you said, they're a little tropey, but that's okay. And then my other runner-up, and I was really considering bumping this because I really like it, but I didn't, was Sakura Wars.
Ooh.
And that is like a super hidden gem. Like, I think it didn't sell well. A lot of people didn't know about it, but man, I really enjoyed that game. Great characters. I love the look. Really funny. It really felt like you were playing an anime. I know people say that a lot, but that's like really That's what it felt like. It even had like chapters. It's like next time on Sakura Wars, like totally, um, you know, really it felt like an anime, and the combat was cool. Mech combat. The music was also great. It's just very unique. There's not a lot of JRPGs with that setting and with um, that feel and look and stuff. So I don't know. I really liked Sakura Wars, and I always encourage people to check it out.
My runner-ups are Tales of the Rise / series.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend everyone to play the Tales series on the system. Play Tales of Vesperia last.
Yeah.
Well, maybe first. I don't know, because it's a very old style Tales game. It's like one of the first 3D. It uses the first 3D type, because the first 3D type was Symphonia, Abyss, and Vesperia. They all played very similar, and then they started branching off to different styles. So Vesperia was the last one of the Symphonia style. So it's a little archaic, a little slow. Great characters though. And Tales of Hysteria, also great characters. They all have great characters. Every Tales game has great characters. No, I can't really say much more about that. My other one is Ys 8.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed.
I was wondering if you're gonna include Ys 8.
Really enjoyed Ys 8. Really fun. I enjoyed all the character interactions. I know Taylor did not do. Taylor has destroyed this game, like completely destroyed it. That his warped mind opinion on that game is harsh because he's breaks it for speedrunning.
Oh yeah, I beat that game in under 2 hours.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I think it's way longer than 9, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's way long.
9's pretty short, yeah, by comparison.
It has way more varied biomes, areas.
Yeah.
Has a ghost ship.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, has a ghost ship. The only thing that kind of bogs down is some of the Donna stories, which is the added PS4 parts where you play as different like modes. There are different forms of Donna.
Yeah.
And of course you get the special true ending. You have to do like level what do you have to do to do the true ending? I think you had to get most of the people 3 stars, so you had to do all their social link stuff to give a term to it.
Okay.
But I enjoyed how the game looked. I enjoyed how it played, and I enjoyed the characters, and I definitely enjoyed the music. And then when I saw Ys 9, I was like, this kind of looks like a downgrade. But Ys 9 was fun, but Ys 8 is better, in my opinion. And it's very fun to speedrun, apparently.
It is, yeah. Just the mechanics. So fun to break it.
All right, so let's do a couple questions before we head off.
All right.
Spaghetti asks, I've been wanting to pick up fighting games again. What games do you recommend? I really liked BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle and Smash. Not like it counts. Taylor, you're obviously our expert in fighting games here, so what do you think?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I've been playing a lot of fighting games lately, and no, I have no idea. I mean, Dungeon and Fighter looks cool. I know this might be a weird recommendation, but maybe Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, because it has that RPG mode in it, and it could be getting you ready for Grand Blue Fantasy Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Excuse me.
to know the characters.
Yeah, I guess. So that if I had to give a real answer, that would probably be the only one. But I don't even know
it really depends on what you want to do. Do you want to play with your friends? Do you want to play online? Do you want to just have some fun? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, if you want to just have some fun, play with friends and everything, because the online mode is garbage. Hopefully that gets a patch to get some rollback, but I don't know. Might be a dead game. COVID kind of killed it. If you really want to get into a fighting game, you want to start playing when it first comes out. Luckily, Guilty Gear just came out like a couple months ago, maybe half a year ago. So it's really still early in its lifespan. So it's a great time to get in. It's not as crazy as Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, but it's still a really fun game. It might be a little harder. I don't think it's that hard. It's pretty easy. You just have to learn, take a couple days to learn a character, watch some YouTube videos on it and stuff. And then luckily we're getting brand new games. King of Fighters 14 or 15?
I think it's 15, yeah.
15, right? Yeah, King of Fighters 15. That game is for like veteran fighting game players because it has crazy inputs and small execution windows. So you need to be like an expert. I mean, it looks awesome, looks fun, but if you don't want to be frustrated or not good with the inputs, it might be a little hard. Luckily, Street Fighter 6 is coming out, and I think some more games are going to be released, like Persona 5 Arena. You know.
Yeah.
If you want not Grand Blue. Dragon Ball Fighters is super fun if you're really into Dragon Ball and you just want to have fun with friends. You can just press square and do cool things. And then Persona 4 Arena when it comes out. That's going to be fun.
That's right, yeah.
Nova Chaser asks, what is your favorite category of JRPG? Turn-based, action, tactics, MMO, or roguelike? AKA Mystery Dungeon.
That is a really tough question. I mean, based off of, I probably would have to say action, honestly. I mean, I have a lot of nostalgia for turn-based and tactical just because there weren't a lot of action JRPGs back in the day. But yeah, I guess I would say action just because I like that immediate input, but that's not to say that I don't like the other ones because I love it. I'm so excited for like Triangle Strategy, which is a strategy RPG. So yeah. What would you say, Nick?
I like the classics. I mean, anything classic. It could be action. It could be turn-based. It could be... I don't know. I just like the look of classic. I like the feel. I know a lot of people think archaic, like don't like the feels of our archaic games, but I like the feel of classic games. I don't know why. It just feels like they're made with more charm. I don't know. Turn-based and action, or turn-based and action like Tales, not like an ease game, but Tales game. It's my favorite category. I mean, is there really an MMO JRPG? In the guide, the points that I point out, no MMO could be a JRPG.
Yeah, I mean, people would argue maybe like Phantasy Star Online 2 or Final Fantasy 14, but yeah, I would say hard to say that, yeah.
All right, Hookah LeConk asks, "What is the most recent JRPG you've played where you had your expectations that you were going to adore everything about it, but it turned out just to be decent enough that you want to finish it, but not a JRPG you're going to obsess over for years to come after you beat it? For me, that was Tales of Arise. Been a good long time since I've absolutely fallen in love with the JRPG. Not to say Arise isn't a good game, I just think it's fine, nothing mind-blowing."
So like a game we were hyped for, but like once it came out, it was like, it was fine.
It's all right.
Hmm.
That is hard for me because I usually don't have any expectations for games.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, Nick. I've kind of adopted that mindset too, and it's been nice because I feel like I enjoy games more now. Like with Horizon, I had no idea. I'm like, okay, it's in San Francisco and there's new monsters. The end. Like I didn't know anything about it, and I'm having fun with it because I'm like, I don't know anything about what's going on. And same thing with a lot of other games. That said,
I think
probably the new Pokemon Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like, ooh, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be open world, and it's like it's open world, but it's still like not all the way there, and it's still like you could tell it's so held back by the Switch's power, which sucks. Not that again, not to say that I didn't like it. I'm probably gonna finish it. It's a fun little game, but it's not what I was totally hoping for, I guess.
Yeah. I was say Fate Tactics would probably be one of them too.
Fate Tactics, yeah. I was really looking for. I would say I was just straight up disappointed with that one because I didn't even finish it. So
I don't know me. I have the exact opposite where I had no expectations and then I became obsessed over it. Tales of Hysteria is one of them, and that's probably one of the most hated Tales game ever nowadays. But I love that game. I mean, I get the criticisms it gets. It feels unfinished. It feels like it's made in the PS2 era kind of thing, and it looks bad in some places. RPG Maker dungeons. I get it. But I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the characters, and then because I had no expectations and I just enjoyed playing it. I did have like, it was like, oh man, you get to a point in the story where you have to do all these side quests, and if you didn't do all the side quests earlier, then you have to do like so much to do, or if you did all the side quests earlier, then you instantly continue going, which is like, oh, that's weird. But I enjoyed the characters. I watched the anime, and I'm like, oh, this is what they were going for. I get it now, because they fill out all the holes in the game and change the story. And I'm like, oh, now I love it even more. I guess the one that Tales of Arise, I enjoyed. I was really enjoying it up until the very end of the game, where I was like, oh, this feels rushed. And it's weird that it feels rushed because it's been 3 or 4 years since the last Tales game came out, but for some reason it feels rushed in the end.
yeah.
Last question. Cornballer asks, how do you find enough time to play all these games that you talk about? Do you not have a full-time job, or do you not have a family or social life? Or are you just rushing through most of them and not really doing much extra, not trying to nose into your personal life, or trying to find out how you are all managing to find time to play so many games?
Who asked that again?
Cornballer.
Cornballer. I don't know who that is. I know they're playing the game, the fantasy game, but they're not on Discord a ton. But anyway, sorry.
I was gonna say I don't play that many games.
Mm.
I really don't. I talk about them, but I don't really play like the ones. Like there's a lot of JRPGs that I just don't play because I just don't have the time, and I want to play them or at least try them out. But it's just like right now in my life, I can't because it's just full time working, and that job is pretty harsh on my physical well being because I have to sleep for like 4 hours and wake up at 2 every morning. But when I do play games, it's just the ones that I'm really excited for, and they're usually only JRPGs and the big ones. Or I'm just replaying the old ones because I just don't have this. I could just breeze through that without thinking. What about you, Taylor? I mean, I know that you really have any time because of your job. You have a business to run and your YouTube channel.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of times. So I try to finish them. If they're great, I try to finish them. But if not, I try to play a sizable chunk to give an honest review. But they said no family or social life. If I'm being honest, not really. I mean, I'm not dating. I don't have any children. On the weekends, that's like usually all I do. It's like, I try to go for walks, do a little bit of exercise, eat, get out of the house a little bit. But really, that's like what I do with my free time is just play games, just try to not think, just turn my brain off, So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then like during Christmas break, we take 2 weeks off, and then I just really either will power through one game or power through a couple games. Usually Christmas break is kind of my time to catch up if I haven't played anything. But I'm also kind of like with Nick. Like when I look back on the year, I'm like, I don't think I played that many. Like maybe one a month or something. Maybe one and a half a month or something. But usually I try to only stick to the big JRPGs and then whatever catches my attention. So like last year would have been, all the big JRPGs. But then I love Resident Evil, so I had to play Resident Evil. And I feel like there was something else that came
See,
out
like that. Like I like horror games, and I haven't played the new Resident Evils, and just like I just haven't found the time to do it. And because if I did play Resident Evil, I'd really get into it, and I don't feel like I would neglect stuff that I need to do. So the games I play are just when I want to turn my brain off and not do anything. There is one series that I started playing, is the Gunvolt games.
Oh yeah, how are those? So what do you think?
All right, they're really they feel like budget Mega Man games, but they're fun. They're just unique and very anime. Like you didn't see me streaming them, so I should show you how anime they are. After this podcast, I'll show you real quick. But yeah, I want to be able to play more and like actually do content on the games, but the job just kills you, man. And you need to make that money. So
yeah, you sure do.
If you were wondering like how to find time to play the games, what I did was condense what I play. I remember back when we had the apartment, Taylor. That was during the era where I bought all sorts of games, like every single game I would buy, and I realized like this is untenable. I need to. What do I like to play? And that's when I was like, I like to play JRPGs, some shooters, and sandbox games and fighters. And I'm like, and that's all I focus on now is those type of games. And there's some odd games, maybe some platformers, some Mega Man games, but I always focus on JRPGs and fighters. And it's easier on your wallet and it's easier on your time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing I'm kind of trying to get more used to as I get older is I feel like there is sort of like a feeling of, oh, you have to play the latest thing to be in the conversation or whatever. And I feel like I care less and less about that unless it's like a game I'm playing for a review and I want to try to hit embargo for views and stuff like that. But like for Horizon, I'm like, I actually got it as a gift. I didn't even buy it. But I don't think you have to be on top of every new game because it gets exhausting, and I think that's how backlogs happen. It's like, oh, I need to play everything. And it's like, you don't need to. You'll never be able to. I mean, that's the honest truth. We'll never play everything we want to.
It's like everyone and their mother is playing Elden Ring, right? I'm not. I'm not playing that. I'm playing Chasm.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah,
and you're having a blast, so who cares?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a very simple game. I think I'm almost done. But yeah, that's it for this episode of the Giant Sword Podcast. Taylor, are you making anything soon? Or working on a video or anything like that?
I was trying to get an Elden Ring review out last week, but I feel like I didn't play enough, so I spent some more time this weekend playing. So I'll probably have a more detailed Elden Ring review this week, and then maybe something else. I don't know. I'm trying to reorganize my channel and figure out my video schedule, so we'll see
what you want to make. Yeah, exactly. So that's the same thing here. That's why it's like I have so many, like I have ideas of podcast episodes that I want to do, but I just don't go out and do them. Find the time to ask everyone to do it, but sometimes we'll get through it. And I want to do a new podcast that I've asked you about, so there's a little hint, a little sneak peek of what we might be doing in the future. But yeah. Everyone, thank you for listening, and be sure to follow, comment, subscribe, whatever, do all that stuff. But we'll be back next time. See ya.
Bye.